Well, Uday, there's some big breaking news which is coming in. We're talking about the ray of hope which has been given to the Valley of Kashmir, and now India Inc. has responded very positively to the call by the Prime Minister. Yesterday, remember, in his address to the nation, he said it's important that everyone in India contributes towards the development and vikas in the valley, and this outreach has now reached India Inc. as well. In fact, Uday Kotak has said that they too are going to be looking and investing in Kashmir.
No, in fact, we are all at CII of the view that we would like to see investment come across sectors in the state of Jammu and Kashmir, and CII has stated to the government and to the finance minister today that CII would support initiatives for investment in the state of Jammu and Kashmir.
Well, let me go across to Hina Gambhir, who is joining us. Hina, it is heartening to see that normalcy is returning to the valley, but also now there is this hope of a future. When you have industrialists such as Uday Kotak coming out and saying, yes, we are ready to now invest in Kashmir, this is going to go a long way in providing not just livelihood, but also an alternative future for the people.
Well, absolutely. In fact, after Prime Minister's pitch for development in Jammu and Kashmir, this is the first response that we have got from members of the India Inc., the who's who clearly, who are now, saying that they are ready to see Jammu and Kashmir as an investment destination as well. They will be exploring opportunities. That was Uday Kotak, who was also saying that, they will look forward to investing in Jammu and Kashmir. And this is definitely a ray of hope, as you correctly mentioned, because this is going to provide jobs, employment opportunities to the people of the valley, which they were always deprived of. And this is something that is going to be a stepping stone in changing the lives of the people of the valley specifically, who had to in fact resort to stone pelting because there was nothing else really for them to do. But if industry comes there, if there are new business houses that open their offices in Jammu and Kashmir, this is definitely a good news and a ray of hope as promised by Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
Do we expect, Hina, other industrialists also to now look at Kashmir as not just the tourism hub, but also the hub for other industries to crop up? Because after all, it is something which is mostly untouched. If you can explain to us how the land restrictions after the abrogation of the special status for Jammu and Kashmir have now been loosened up and may just incentivize investment.
Well, yes, initially the biggest impediment really in this case for industry was that they could not really buy land in Jammu and Kashmir. But after the abrogation of Article 370, that hurdle has gone, and that is the reason why this is the biggest incentive that the private sector can actually go to Jammu and Kashmir, set up industries, open business houses. It will not only provide jobs and various opportunities to the people of Jammu and Kashmir, but also help in improving their lives as well. Another very important aspect, Meghna, that we need to highlight here is how Prime Minister Modi yesterday reached out to specific industries, the shikara walas, those who grow kesar. He also invited Bollywood to come to the valley and invest. So we'll see how others also respond, because yesterday's speech was very pointed. It was directed towards a specific set of people. First response has already come in.
Well, in fact, do stay on with us. Let's go across to Srinagar. We've been talking about how there is normalcy slowly returning to the valley. It's important for everyone to see what's happening on the ground. So for that, let's go across to Siddhant, who's joining us from Srinagar. Siddhant, today is a big day when the Friday prayers, the first Friday prayers after the abrogation of the special status for Jammu and Kashmir. If you can explain to us, restrictions have been removed, but there is still peace in the valley, isn't it?
Well, yes, so far there is peace in the valley, and Prime Minister's address was a game changer. The time Prime Minister has chosen to address the people of the valley and the country was a game changer, a day before Jummah Namaz, which is considered to be a sensitive day across the valley. And, this is what we are picking from ground and from the security establishment. The relaxation have been given for the prayers, and people are being allowed to go to the mosque and offer the prayers. But at the same time, the forces are are on ground, and we've been told that some sensitive mosques there, the people are not being allowed. Some mosques in downtown Srinagar. This is what we've been told. Now, Prime Minister has given assurance to the people of the valley. The valley people were concerned about the union territory status. He has made it very clear, once the normalcy will return, will give statehood to Jammu and Kashmir. Then Prime Minister has talked about the Shikara tourism. He has also talked about the Kesar. He has talked about the Bollywood, and now the fresh statement coming from the Uday Kotak, the top industrialist of the country, that he is ready to invest. Such kind of optimism is needed for the valley at this point in time, where people are under Section 144 curfew, where people are not being allowed for usual movement. At this point in time, if such kind of assurances from the corporate houses are coming, from the film industry is coming, and
Right.
Prime Minister's address, which is again I'm saying is a game
Well, in
changer.
fact, do stay on with us. One of India's leading cardiologists, cardiovascular as well as cardiothoracic surgeon, Naresh Trehan, is joining us here on our show. Thank you so much for joining us. Also the chairman of Medanta. Well, Dr. Trehan, yesterday we saw a very heartfelt outreach by the Prime Minister. He said every Indian has a stake in Kashmir. It's important for us to come together, industries to come together to ensure that there is progress, development and vikas in the valley. Do you think everyone is going to respond? Your industry, specifically your sector, will respond positively to this call as well?
Yes, of course, because see, there is virtually no good level of healthcare available to the public of the valley.
Absolutely.
And they come to Delhi. I mean, we receive a lot of these patients here at Medanta here. So now that if everything works out the way the Prime Minister is talking, that we would be able to own land and build our own hospital, because it's very difficult to do it otherwise. And so if this possibility arises, it will be a great boon for the people of the valley, because they'll get highest quality of care at their own door. So we are very optimistic, and we feel that yes, we shall be participating in providing the best healthcare to the people of the valley once
And
the opportunity
considering,
arises.
doctor, now it is possible to take skilled doctors, get them and agree to settle in the valley now that there are no restrictions for any of the outsiders to settling there, have their own home as well. You may just get line. Is that something that Medanta perhaps would be looking forward to in the future? Because to provide that quality of healthcare is something that every Kashmiri today would be hoping is available to them as well. They need not fly down all the way across to Delhi, that it should be available to them in Srinagar itself.
Yes, that's true. We have a very large number of patients from Kashmir who are working with us, and I'm sure they will welcome the opportunity to go and serve in Kashmir once things are the facilities have been created, from which you can deliver the highest end of care, because they are used to this kind of facility and the care that they can give. Once we can give them the technology and the facility, I'm sure many doctors would like to go to Kashmir and serve their own public.
Well, hopefully, Dr. Trehan, we very soon get to see the hospitals at the level of Medanta also now setting up shop there in the valley. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Let me go across to Jammu, where Pradeep Datta, senior editor, is also joining us. Pradeep, it's very heartening. So you first have Rohan Kotak, he's coming out. We have Dr. Trehan, who's coming out and saying that, yes, our respective industries are going to look at investing in the valley, in the Union Territory now of Jammu and Kashmir. Is that the hope which has permeated on the ground as well, given people finally a hope for an alternate future which is so much brighter than what they have today?
Yes, Meghna, it is because of this hope that you are seeing calm in Kashmir Valley. Otherwise, there had been elements who had been trying to stoke trouble. They wanted that people should come out on street and protest, and it is because of this reason that the people are calm, because they know the winds of change will start blowing in the coming days. And Prime Minister, in fact, Siddharth rightly said it was not only a game changer, but I can say he was able to strike chord with each and every Kashmiri, because now the people in Kashmir Valley feel that they will be getting the better healthcare system. He also wanted that it should not be a lip service. Each and every Indian should invest for peace and prosperity of the state. They should be treated as their own people. Only the word saying that Kashmir is an integral part of India is not really going to work. What actually they want, that people should go to Kashmir Valley, invest there, there, and they should give flip to the tourism industry and ask even in fact the directors and the producers of the Bollywood, they should go and shoot there in Kashmir Valley what used to be the scene in early 70s, and that is the only way you can put a full stop on secessionism, terrorism and corruption that had been existing in the state of Kashmir Valley. Since for the last 3-4 days we are in touch with some of the people and some of the families who are putting up here also. They are also quite optimistic. They feel that what exactly had snatched away their happiness and that has led to alienation was corruption, because it was only few people who were benefited because of the centrally sponsored scheme. The money, instead of coming for the people, it was being siphoned off and filling the coffers of certain people only, including some of the politicians. The recent case of 1,200 appointments in Jammu and Kashmir Bank, many of these candidates were not even qualified. They were not even graduate. The other people who got the job, they were the one who got the reference letter from mantris and the former chief minister. So now,
and especially after the appeal which went out, the outreach from the Prime Minister, it's interesting. We are going industry by industry. The auto industry has already responded very positively. The hospitality industry too will. And of course, we've had healthcare. We had spoken to Dr. Naresh Trehan as well. So that goes to, so all the sectors are now reaching out, literally reaching out to Kashmir, and that's going to be heartening.